This is the WP Week podcast, powered by Profile Press, 20i, and WP Job Openings. It was another active week across the WordPress ecosystem, with new releases, community discussions, security developments, and updates from projects throughout the space. Profile Press lets you sell subscriptions, digital downloads, courses, and restrict content with Stripe and PayPal integrations. Looking for better hosting? Upgrade to auto-scaling WordPress hosting from 20i for always-on, always-fast performance you'll fall in love with. See the difference and get your first month for only $1. And WP Job Openings is the easiest way to set up a professional career page and start accepting applications in just minutes. Welcome to this week's WordPress Roundup. We've got a major new security initiative from WordPress.org, the latest Gutenberg release, updates from WooCommerce, developments in the WP engine versus automatic case, and so much more. We begin this week with a major security announcement from WordPress.org. A new initiative called Protect The Shire aims to strengthen the security of the plugin and theme ecosystem. The first step is a new 24-hour cooldown period for plugin and theme releases before they reach sites through auto updates. The additional time allows for both AI-assisted and human review. The goal is to identify potential security issues and supply chain threats before updates are widely distributed. It's a notable change that could have a significant impact on the security of the WordPress ecosystem. Staying with WordPress core development, Gutenberg 23.3 is now available. One of the headline additions is an experimental dashboard redesign that supports drag-and-drop interactions for widgets in the admin area. React 19 support briefly landed in the release but was later reverted because of compatibility concerns. The conversation around Gutenberg is also expanding beyond code. Matt Mullenweg has proposed weekly Gutenberg feedback sessions where community members can share their everyday frustrations and discuss possible improvements. The idea has been well received so far and could create a more direct feedback loop between users and contributors. WordPress 7.0 preparations are continuing as well. Aaron Jorbin has issued a call for volunteers to serve as maintenance release managers for the WordPress 7.0 series. The role involves bug triage, release coordination, announcements, and documentation updates. Those selected will help guide the upcoming WordPress 7.0.1 maintenance release expected later this month. Documentation is also getting some attention. A proposal to automatically generate block editor handbook documentation from block.json metadata has now been merged into Gutenberg. This should help keep documentation synchronized with the codebase while still preserving contributor-written content where it adds value. Looking ahead to WordPress 7.1, the project has launched a collaborative editing outreach effort. Early adopters using the latest Gutenberg plugin are being invited to provide ongoing real-world feedback through a dedicated Slack channel. The initiative is designed to improve the feature's stability and overall readiness before release. Testing is also underway for client-side media processing. This upcoming feature processes images directly in the browser before upload. It can reduce server load, support modern image formats, and provide more consistent image handling across different hosting environments. The WordPress team is now looking for feedback to help prepare the feature for wider adoption. The plugins team continues to work through a substantial review backlog. During the latest reporting period, the team processed 673 plugin requests. Of those, 376 were approved, 162 were rejected, and 50 were closed. Even with that progress, the review queue currently stands at 4,802 plugins. That figure highlights the ongoing challenge of keeping pace with submissions. In WordPress education news, the latest Education Buzz report highlights continued growth across several programs. Campus Connect has now surpassed 6,200 attendees, and the WP Credits program continues to expand, with new student clubs having been launched in both Costa Rica and India. Moving over to WooCommerce, the platform has announced that its block-based product editor beta will be removed from core when WooCommerce 11.0 launches on July 28. Before that happens, WooCommerce 10.9 will introduce deprecation notices and warnings for store owners and extension developers. Once the beta is removed, the classic editor will become the sole product editing experience available in WooCommerce Core. It's a significant change for anyone following the future of WooCommerce editing experiences. WooCommerce 10.9 itself is now available in beta. The upcoming release focuses on checkout and dashboard performance improvements. It also introduces built-in transactional email logging and includes several experimental and beta features for developers to test. The final release is scheduled for June 23. Turning to legal news, there have been new developments in the WP Engine versus Automatic case. The court has ordered additional document production and further responses to certain discovery requests. It has also granted WP Engine 3 additional hours to depose Matt Mullenweg. At the same time, several requests from both sides were denied. The rulings establish new deadlines as the case continues to move forward. On the security front, WordFence's latest weekly vulnerability report disclosed 277 vulnerabilities affecting 184 plugins and 70 themes. The company's quarterly threat intelligence report shows an even larger trend. During the quarter, 2,738 vulnerabilities were disclosed across the WordPress ecosystem. That's an increase of nearly 24% compared to the previous quarter. Among them, 158 were classified as high-threat vulnerabilities. A serious vulnerability in the Kirky plugin has also been patched. The flaw could have allowed unauthenticated attackers to take over user accounts, including administrator accounts, through the plugin's password reset functionality. Users are strongly encouraged to update immediately. Another urgent security issue involves the Burst Statistics plugin. A critical authentication bypass vulnerability affects versions 3.4.0 through 3.4.1.1. According to WordFence, attackers began exploiting the flaw on the same day it became public. The company says its firewall has already blocked more than 112,000 attack attempts. Users should update to version 3.4.2 as soon as possible. Moving into acquisitions and partnerships, Progress Planner has been acquired by Your Online. The company was founded by Joost de Valk and Marieke van der Racht. As part of the acquisition, the founders and their team will join the hosting group and help lead AI development across its brands. Rocket.net has announced a partnership with WP Umbrella. The agreement gives agency customers free access to WP Umbrella for sites hosted on Rocket.net. The package includes safe updates with rollback support, uptime and performance monitoring, vulnerability scanning, automated reporting, and AI-powered workflows. It's a move aimed at simplifying site management for agencies. In community news, a large-scale benchmark of more than 55,000 WordPress plugins is challenging one of the most common assumptions about WordPress performance. Marcin Dudek found that the median plugin added 0 milliseconds to homepage load times. His findings suggest that plugin count alone is a poor measure of performance. Instead, a small number of resource-heavy plugins, combined with hosting and caching decisions, often have a much greater impact on site speed. Review Signal has published its 2026 hosting benchmarks. This marks the first edition in 3 years. The top-performing hosts include 34sp.com, DreamHost, Green Geeks, Lightning Base, WP Buzz, Bluehost, GoDaddy, ICD-Soft, Pressable, and WPX. Honorable mentions went to 20i, Host Armada, and Hard Internet. The benchmarks continue to serve as one of the most closely watched independent hosting comparisons in the WordPress space. WordCamp Europe 2026 also remains a major talking point this week. The event in Krakow brought together more than 2,400 attendees from 81 countries. Highlights included Contributor Day, discussions around WordPress 7.0 and AI, and the announcement that CERN's main website now runs on WordPress. Organizers have also confirmed that WordCamp Europe 2027 will take place in Málaga, Spain. Meanwhile, several attendees have published their own reflections and recaps from the event. One of the more widely discussed post-event reflections came from Reno de Boer. Following WordCamp Europe, he argued that the biggest threat facing WordPress is economic rather than technical. He pointed to concerns around plugin sales, declining interest in WordPress-focused content, and growing interest in AI tools and competing platforms. His comments sparked considerable discussion across the community. A response from Matt Medeiros also drew criticism from some community members over its framing and assumptions. Another community discussion centers on WooCommerce subscriptions. CyberWiger has criticized WooCommerce's handling of a bug affecting renewal reminders for switched subscriptions. He argues that the issue is not fully resolved and says affected merchants were not adequately informed. He also believes the lack of communication may have contributed to lost revenue for some store owners. Patchstack has announced major changes to its bug bounty program. The company says the rise of AI-assisted security research has led to an increase in duplicate, low-impact, and poorly validated reports. As a result, the program is shifting its focus toward higher-impact vulnerabilities. New submission requirements, revised bounty structures, and temporary bans for rule violations are also being introduced. WP Engine has expanded its global edge security platform with new bot management capabilities powered by Cloudflare. The update gives website teams more visibility into automated traffic and provides additional tools for controlling unwanted bot activity. As AI-driven traffic continues to grow, this is likely to be an area many site owners will be watching closely. GoDaddy is also making the case that perceptions of its WordPress hosting platform may be overdue for an update. Adam W. Warner argues that years of infrastructure and performance improvements have significantly changed the hosting experience. He points to strong results in the latest hosting benchmarks as evidence of that progress. Separately, GoDaddy has partnered with Patchstack to bring vulnerability detection to managed WordPress hosting customers. A few notable product updates are worth mentioning as well. Fluent Boards is celebrating its second anniversary with a limited-time 50% discount running through June 15. Plausible has launched a new User Journeys Explorer feature to help site owners better understand user behavior. Siren Affiliates is now available as an official Gravity Forms add-on. Bluehost has introduced a new AI website builder that guides users from a simple prompt to a fully hosted website through a conversational interface. There are also several new releases across the ecosystem. BuddyPress Polls version 5.0 introduces new poll blocks, additional poll types, and expanded developer tools. SureForms 2.10.1 improves block API compatibility and fixes several reported issues. Poodle Playground has added a built-in URL shortener for sharing playground blueprints. Michael B. has launched ChromaKit as a new umbrella brand for his plugin projects. A new Chrome extension called Tabisto aims to turn browser tabs into a personalized productivity workspace. MagicPath is now available as an official Codex plugin. Jonathan Bossinger has published the resources from his WordCamp Europe workshop on building AI-powered WordPress plugins. Before we wrap up, congratulations are in order for Makarend Mane, who has been named the latest recipient of the Yoast Care Fund in recognition of his contributions to the WordPress community. Finally, let's take a quick look at some new projects. RankBix SEO is a new SEO plugin featuring sitemaps, schema support, redirects, AI-powered metadata, index now integration, and more. README WP allows administrators to create internal documentation directly inside the WordPress dashboard. Content Lifecycle Manager helps teams manage content reviews and ownership after publication. UPMD, Popular Themes tracks WordPress.org theme rankings. AI ViewSync helps site owners manage LLMs.txt files for AI crawlers. Dismissed is a new project that tracks intrusive WordPress admin notices and identifies the code responsible for displaying them. That wraps up this week's Roundup, packed with releases, milestones, new tools, and plenty of movement across the ecosystem. Thanks for listening to the WP Week podcast, sponsored by Profile Press, 20by, and WP Job Openings. We'll catch you next week with more stories from the world of WordPress.